Hi everyone, and welcome back to Everyday a Project. Today I'm going to be replacing the cooling fan in my computer. I was having a problem where the computer would overheat and shut down. As a temporary workaround, I underclocked the computer from 3800 MHz down to 2500. While this did help keep the heat down, it also made it so that I was running way slower than normal. I ordered a new cooling fan that should help fix the problem. First, I need to take out the old cooling fan. As you can see, the thermal paste on the old heatsink was blotchy and was not conducting heat as well as it should have been. I needed to use some isopropyl alcohol to take the thermal paste off. Make sure that you use 99.9% ultra pure or you could damage your computer. Wow, this fan is way bigger than I thought it was going to be. Next, I took out the mounting brackets for the old heatsink. The kit came with some standoffs that fit in the existing screw holes. I could have gone to the garage and gotten the right socket, but the kit came with this weird little socket Phillips adapter thing, and that worked just fine. In order to have screwdriver clearance to mount the heatsink, I need to remove the fan first. The bracket fits several different types of processors, so I had to adjust it for mine. Just to be on the safe side, I used the isopropyl to clean the bottom of the heat pipes also, in case there's any glue left over from the warning label. The kit also came with some fresh thermal paste. I went ahead and applied probably way too much, but it doesn't really matter. Smear it all in there and just make sure that it conducts the heat well. I put the heatsink on over the thermal paste and squished it around so that it covered the processor uniformly. Then I screwed in the mounting bracket to hold it tight against the processor. Now that everything is mounted securely, I can reattach the fan to the heatsink. Next, I connected the fan to the CPU fan plug on the motherboard. I was a little bummed out that this fan was so huge there wasn't much clearance between it and the heatsinks on my RAM. While I had everything torn apart, I decided to remount my hard drive. I had some issues with it in the backplane enclosure that was in there, and so I had just laid it in the bottom of the case, so I'm fixing that now. I also ordered some new dummy plates for the case because somewhere along the way I lost them all, and so I'm just going to put them all back in, and that should help with airflow too. There we go, everything is all back together and ready to do some work. Now that I've got a brand new cooling fan, I can crank the processor back up to full speed. So far, so good. So under load, the processor was getting to about 85 degrees Celsius. To test the new fan, I decided to render one of my editing projects. The processor temperature never got above 50 degrees Celsius now that the new fan was installed. Well, there you have it. Another project completed. Now that you've seen me do it, I hope you'll give it a try. Until next time, I'm wishing you fun and success in all your projects.